Joe Stewart, Vice President for Governmental Affairs, the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina. We're joined today by Mr. David Wheeler, who is a Democratic candidate for Insurance Commissioner in the 2024 election. David, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you. We wanted to bring you on and to offer an opportunity for you to introduce yourself to IIANC members. And so let's start. Talk a little bit about your background, your experience. What are the things you think qualify you for the office of Insurance Commissioner?
Sure. Well, welcome to all your members, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm up in Spruce Pine in western North Carolina, near in Mitchell County, up the road from Asheville. And I've been an entrepreneur since I was 22. I thought I was going to be a lawyer and decided not to do that, and started my own business at 22. Got involved in conference and event business, and extremely aware of the insurance needs around that business, which is specialty policy, but grew that business to about 25 full-time employees, another 25 part-time employees that would work for us, up to about $12 million in revenue. So I have worked for myself, like many of your members. I have, on many occasions, not taken a salary because revenue was low and I want to take care of my people. So, and I'm sure that's happened to many of your members as well, when you've got lean months, but you want to take care of your people. So I think it's important that you understand I'm a small business person, like many of you. And I also have a little bit of a legal background in that I was a paralegal for about 6 years, and part of my responsibilities included insurance litigation. So I've been around the litigation side of this, and you'll be delighted to know that I'm not a lawyer. So anyway, those are my qualifications. I think, again, having worked for myself, pulled myself up by my own bootstraps, obviously with some help along the way from clients and friends and family. I don't attribute my success completely to me, but frankly, it was a lot of hard work. And I'm sure that many of the agents that are watching this can relate to that. And I think my qualification to be the insurance commissioner is really based on common sense. I mean, again, I'm not an insurance expert per se. I've certainly been around the industry. My father worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield for 35 years. So I've been through the ins and outs of some of the health insurance issues through his work and osmosis at night. But I think I bring common sense to it. I bring a business background. I bring a transparency focus. I think a lot of the issues that have a problem with the DOI right now focus around transparency, frankly. So I grew up in a rural town. My folks, my father was a Marine. My mother was a quilter and a homemaker. And I'm old as dirt. I'll be 59 in March. I've been around the block a couple times. I'm also a single father every other week. I've got 3 kids, 7, 11, and 13, that I'm a full-time dad every other week. So that's a little bit about me and my qualifications, and I look forward to more questions, Joe.
Yeah, other experience you've had in electoral politics.
Well, I am a Democrat, but I would consider myself a moderate, I would say middle of the road Democrat, in that, again, I grew up in a rural community, exposed farmers and ranchers and common folk, working folks, all my life. That's my background. That's my family's background. So, I don't want to be pigeonholed as an Asheville liberal. Nothing against Asheville liberals, but that's not me. I'm a business guy at heart. Although I am a Democrat, and I'm proud to be a Democrat. I worked early on Jimmy Carter's campaign, and I was 10 years old passing out leaflets, putting on bumper stickers. I also connected with another guy who who mentored me and has mentored me along the way, a guy named Tom Vilsack, who was a former governor of Iowa, and also the longest serving commissioner of agriculture. But again, I think a pragmatic Democrat that gets things done and more focused on policy and helping folks, less on some of the divisive politics out there. And then I don't hide the fact that I did work for then Senator Obama. I was on his advance team. Excuse me. And some of your members are probably doing the same thing. Wait a second. He's a business guy that worked for Obama. Anyway, I was on his advance team and helped him launch his campaign in 2007, but you can't hold it all the negative things against me, folks. But I've always been focused on the logistics and the advanced event side of politics, less so on the divisive policy.
The Commissioner of Insurance has a wide range of regulatory responsibilities. Of course, the membership of IIANC most interested in the aspects of the office that involve the oversight of insurance companies and insurance agents. Tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, what do you think of the current state of the insurance marketplace in North Carolina, and what are some of the things that you would want to do relative to that should you be elected insurance commissioner?
Sure. Well, I think top of mind to me, looking at the broader picture of insurance in North Carolina, is the juxtaposition between North Carolina and Florida. Obviously, that's top of mind. The fact that they're not writing commercial policies for homeowners in Florida, or they haven't been able to recently. I think new companies in the last couple of months. But I think, looking at Florida and making sure we don't make some of the mistakes they made regarding, policies and making sure that it's a competitive market. I think the other thing, that the way I look at independent insurance brokers and agency owners, is that I see them as small businesses. I don't necessarily pigeonhole them within, obviously their business is insurance, but they're employing people. And I think part of the job of the insurance commissioner should be listening to those small business owners a little more closely, a little more often, and finding solutions to help them grow their business, whether it's bringing in more competitive lines of insurance, or bringing in more insurance companies into North Carolina so they can sell their products, or providing some grants and training for individual agents that want to expand their portfolio or expand their employee base. I think we ought to, as a department, be seen as not only helping consumers. Obviously, consumers is the focus, or it should be, but bringing along the insurance industry, in my mind, from an economic development standpoint, it's huge. And I don't think anybody focuses there right now. I doubt anybody has come to insurance agents offering a grant other than maybe a bank or SBA. But I would be an active advocate for agents to help if they wanted to grow their business. And I think it also, if there are areas that we can help keep their costs down, whether it's training or other aspects that the department oversees, I think providing advocacy for independent agents and the insurance industry will be a focus of mine. I think the other thing that I'd like to set up is an advocate or a small group that's focused on responding to independent agents' questions and needs. I'm sure agents have as many discrepancies or arguments with insurance companies that consumers do. And who's advocating for them when it comes down to, and I'm sure it's usually dollars and cents too. I'd like to take an active role in helping those small businesses, having been a small business person myself, and knowing that, short of going to an attorney, there's usually not a lot of help. Well, I'm going to be honest and helpful towards insurance agents, I think it also means being their advocate for the bigger insurance companies when they've got. So I'd like to set up that mechanism. And then the other thing I'll do, Joe, is I'd like to set up a working group of insurance agents, independent agents that are advising me from around the state. I think having an active group, and I'm sure that some of that's being done, and your group obviously is active in making sure that going on. But I think hosting and participating in a advisory group that is a cross section of independent insurance agents from across the state would be extremely important to me. And I'll guarantee you, we're going to come up with some ideas out of that group of folks that will implement it.
Well, you've touched on a few things here that would be aspirations should you be elected to this office. Sort of give us a top 3 or 5 or whatever the number is of the priorities that you would have on your action agenda should you become insurance commissioner.
Well, I think the first thing is a very broad statement, so I don't want to appear as being too politician-y, but I really do believe the agency needs to be reoriented towards the community that it's supposed to be serving, and that it's primarily consumers. Be an advocate for consumers, and then secondly, economic development within the insurance industry, to me, seems like the way forward, because that's jobs, and as you know, Joe, and others in the industry know, insurance salaries tend to be a little bit higher than some of the other jobs in the communities. So the more we can help grow that industry, I think the better, more competitive it will be, hopefully, keeping rates down as low as we possibly can. But also helping the industry grow and providing jobs. I think one of the other areas, and this is maybe number 3, I guess, or 13 maybe, but number 3 would be technology. I think I grew up in Iowa, and Des Moines is obviously a hub for insurance. So we grew up around, innovative insurance companies doing interesting new things. And I think we ought to, in as much as what's going on now, it may be going on now, but let's enhance that. I think North Carolina ought to become a hub for insurance technology. Whether it's software or creating a campus situation where we can incubate new ideas, incubate new companies, incubate other areas of insurance. I'd really like that kind of innovation to start taking place in North Carolina and those jobs associated with that. So that would be a priority. I think the other area is transparency. The current commissioner has not held a hearing that I'm aware of. I think he had one hearing regarding workers' comp insurance. Other than that, the 19 rate increases on his watch, he has never had a hearing or taken anyone to court. My dog is barking at me, but I'm a dog guy too, so hopefully that'll garner me some votes. But I think we need a lot more transparency in what goes on behind the scenes with rates. The rate bureau, they're really good people. I've met with them. I trust them. They know what they're doing. They represent the industry in a very professional way. But there's no transparency in how the commissioner makes his decision, how he makes it, where he makes it, who he's making it with. And I'd like to add a lot more transparency. Hold some hearings across the state, involve the insurance industry, and involve consumer groups, and let the insurance companies explain to the consumers why they need to raise rates or not. And if we can't come up with an honest answer or a real reason, then they're going to have a fight on their hands, because I'm going to work to hold those rates down.
All right, in your final 30 seconds, make your case. You have an open forum with the independent insurance agents of North Carolina. Tell them that you want them to know about you as a candidate for insurance commissioner.
You bet. Well, you'll have an activist commissioner that's there to help you grow your business, help resolve issues, whether it's with customers or with the insurance industry. And you're going to have a guy that understands that there is an economic benefit to the insurance industry in North Carolina. And I'm going to be the best advocate that small businesses in the insurance industry have ever had. So I'd appreciate your support. Again, my name is David Wheeler, wheelernc.com for more information. And I look forward to meeting, hopefully, a bunch of your members throughout the state.
Mr. David Wheeler, candidate, Democrat for insurance commissioner in the 2024 election. Thank you so much for joining us here, talking to the independent insurance agents in North Carolina.
Delighted to be here, and Poppy and I say goodbye. I know.